Gangster Squad, allegedly true story, set in 40s Los Angeles about a covert team of cops assembled...
Oh, sorry,
because,
what?
well, you know, true story, whenever people say it's...
Well, is it or isn't it?
Well, as I said, allegedly true story, inspired by real events.
So it's not.
Covert team of cops assembled to break up the crime empire of Mickey Cohen. Josh Brolin is the all-round good egg who is, you know, told at the beginning that, you know, you've got to go off the grid. You've got to go and go off the grid and go and assemble a team of guys to go get this guy. Here's a clip.
I'm Jerry.
Say, Jerry, I bet you got a ducky war story behind that lighter.
Yeah, sure, I got stories. I got shot down once over the Pacific. I spent the night hanging onto the wing of the plane and I had sharks bumping my legs in the dark. Are you weak in the knees yet?
Sure I am. Let's see, you're not quite big enough to be a Shylock. I give up. What's your racket, handsome?
My racket is, I'm a Bible salesman.
You want to take me away from all this and make an honest woman out of me?
No, ma'am. I was just hoping to take you to bed.
We're having such cliptastic fun. Of course, that's not Josh Brolin. That, of course, was Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Emily...
Which one?
Yes, well, Emma Stone, I think we've agreed, is the name that we are properly using. So here's the thing with this. It's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland and 30 Minutes or Less, which we had a long argument about whether it should indeed be 30 minutes or fewer. And it's one of those films... I spent the whole time thinking two things. Firstly... You know, a few months ago, about a year ago now, I played L.A. Noire on the computer because I was asked to do so for the Culture Show because they were saying, you know, it's interesting, it's, you know, changing the face of computer games and have a go at it and see what you think. And I actually thought it was, you know, very impressive. And
you played a computer game?
Yeah, I mean, I had to be led through it because I'm not a computer game player. But as I was playing it, I thought, well, you know, this is really, really interesting. And as I was watching Gangster Squad, I kept thinking, you know, it's funny because I remember all the scenery and all the sense of place and all the sense of time and all the milieu and all the detail being an awful lot better in the computer game. The other thing you end up thinking is that you start thinking about Brian De Palma films that he made 25, 30 years ago, and at the time was 25 years ago, and you were sniffy, or I was sniffy about them being all flash and all surface sheen and ultimately no substance. Then you stick them next to Gangster Squad, and you suddenly start to think that Brian De Palma is like, you know, he's making Battleship Potemkin or something. It is extraordinary just how empty and vacuous the film is. I mean, some people have talked about it being cynical in the way of, you know, James Ellroy, Elmer Leonard, but it's not cynical in that kind of cynical, hard-boiled, gritty. I mean, it's nasty and it's flashy and it's noisy and it's splashy and it, you know, and there's an awful lot of stuff happening on screen, but it's cynical in a kind of sheeny, empty, hollow, you know, bang the side of the tin and you hear nothing but the, you know, the empty vessel makes the most noise. Again, I know, thank you. And it was that really, it was like a sort of monosodium glutamate rush of a film that it gave you a bit of a headache and it was a little bit annoying, but there wasn't any meat or substance on it at all. And it was really strange because I kept trying to put my finger on exactly what it was that was so insubstantial. When you got, for example, Sean Penn, who's playing the guy that they've got to get, and you kept thinking, well, firstly, I'm just thinking about Al Pacino in Scarface and Sean Penn. I know the performances are on the one level completely incomparable, except that they both turned up to 11. Sean Penn was so Sean Penny about the whole thing that I ended up looking at the eye makeup to make his eyes look cowl because he's meant to have been a boxer and thinking I can actually see the edges of the eye makeup, and then starting to think about when they had to make me up for that the James Bond shoot that we did. So it was a really peculiar thing that it was, you know, scenery chewing and noisy and flashy and vacuous, but in all the wrong ways, with a bunch of people who I like in the past and by a director who in the past has done more interesting stuff, just making this great big sort of flatulent whoopee cushion noise of a movie for apparently no end other than you meant to think the pyrotechnics will somehow get away with it. It just looked, the whole thing had the smack of artificiality about it in a way which I'm afraid left me bored.